Hello everyone, welcome back once again to my channel. Today I'm going to talk to you guys seriously about why I almost completely gave up on my career as a writer, as a reviewer, and coming back to YouTube. So let's jump in and I'll give you guys all the details about how my life has changed and the industry's changed and things are just different. Did you just buy a brand new computer or upgrade your old computer with so many parts it's now asking for a new Windows key and you don't have one? Well, check this out. VIP Your CD Key has you covered and you don't have to pay Bill Gates that $199 price tag at all. You can get it right now for under $25 and it's easier than ever to do. All you do is you go over to the website. On their website, you create an account. After that, you go and find your software. You put your software in the cart, enter the code TOT20. It will give you a wonderful 25% discount. You go to the checkout. After you do the checkout, check your email a couple of minutes later. You will have the code in there. Put it in your computer and activate your computer. It's that simple. And check it out. All of these codes are guaranteed for life. So save yourself some money and check out the links below. So a long time ago, in a place called California, I really got into computers, hardcore. Got into computers, got into computer gaming, and I grew up as a kid always buying every single type of console you could get your hands on, buying all the games I could get, driving my parents crazy and running their cards into the ground pretty much. You know, luckily I was nice enough, they were nice enough actually to buy me a lot of this stuff and got me addicted to gaming. So when computers came out, I really started getting into playing computer games, and I thought, wow, it'd be really cool to do more than just play these games. It would be cool to really talk about these games. So I started a gaming website, and I had a gaming website for a while called Gamepire.com, GAMEPYRE.com. If you guys ever want to look it up on the Wayback Engine, you can check it out, and you can see that site. We did a lot of game reviews, and I also started getting into the hardware side of things. I started saying, oh, hey, you can put all these parts together and custom design your own computers. And things went from just being a single, little white box of a computer, which is what they really were originally. You got a white box and you got maybe a CD player in, and that was it. It was plain Jane. And stuff was stupid back then. One time a lady actually called into my work and she complained that her coffee holder wasn't working anymore, and she actually meant the CD player. She was putting her coffee cup in the CD player. That's not the worst one though. Worst one was an old man calls me at my job and he starts cussing me out and telling me that his computer doesn't work. And I'm like, sir, okay, explain what's going on to me, And we sent somebody out to this guy's house, a tech, and he didn't even plug it in. I'm not even fucking with you. This guy actually said to us, I thought it had a power supply built into it. It does, but you have to plug this stupid thing in. But anyways, I'm getting off the subject. But basically all that stuff and seeing this stuff made me laugh my ass off and just really want to get into hardware myself and do it. So I started building my own computers, doing that stuff. And I was working at a company called Aberdeen LLC. And at the time, the industry was just barely even taking off whatsoever. And we started a website called motherboards.org. Now, this website, if you don't believe me, you want to call bullshit on it, because I know people just like to say, oh, look, you're full of shit. But you know what? Go look it up. Motherboards.org was the very first tech website that was pretty much ever out there. It was created back in the baud days. We didn't actually create the website. We started working with a guy who had a crazy name that was like R2D2 or iData. I forgot what it is, it's so long ago. But we were like, hey, wow, check this out, a tech website. Let's grab this thing. So we took it over And I started working there, writing all the reviews, doing overclocking, inventing overclocking techniques, different things to do. And the business just kept changing. And I started off as Doc Overclock. That's what I started off as in the industry. I did overclocking all the time and did this stuff. And then all of a sudden, overclocking got to the point where like people were tearing their cards apart, doing electronic modifications on it. They were doing overclocking with all this liquid nitrogen and stuff. And to be honest with you, I've made a video about this before. I always thought that stuff was really just complete, utter nonsense. It was just like, okay, jerking off stuff, dick wagging contest that I really never cared about. For me, if you couldn't do the overclocking at home with your computer without having to do all these crazy modifications on it, then that just wasn't for the daily man. It wasn't for your average user out there. It's for a very, very small niche of people. How many people are really sitting at home and they're gaming and they're pouring LN2 into their computer to keep it running cool, to overclock? Fucking nobody. Nobody. So I kind of, was like, all right, this overclocking stuff is cool. But like I had friends like Fugger and other people back in the day, and like they were all into the overclocking thing. And I was just like, you know what? I don't really care about this stuff as much as I used to. And so I started just concentrating on overclocking stuff and doing it at home and not worrying about other stuff. Now, in all this time that I'm doing this, I'm building all these relationships with all of these companies, because think about this. This time is like the birth of the PC industry. And there's a gazillion companies. I could really make multiple videos about this subject because, we had giant things back there. Comdex. Comdex was multiple buildings in Vegas. It covered just a huge amount of space, and now it's just in one space and it's getting smaller and smaller all the time. When I first started off, there were so many companies that wanted to work with you that it was like literally knowing that if you threw your hook into a pond, you were going to catch a fish. There was just absolutely no way you couldn't catch a fish. And being that I had a website and we did reviews, I was right at the beginning of this, and I had relationships with every single solitary company out there. I worked with them all the time, did reviews on all kinds of stuff. Tech of Tomorrow blew up. I had a great time. People would fly you all over the world to all kinds of parties. It was just a great environment. People weren't cutthroat yet at this time. Everybody was just really, really happy to be a part of the birth of this. Everybody got along. We were all friends. Most of us anyways. And, we had great times together. Like I have great memories of this time working in the industry. It was beautiful because you got to meet a lot of people. You got to travel all around the world, do all kinds of cool stuff. And there was a lot of it to do. You got to keep your review samples. And by the way, me and Kyle from Hard OCP, regardless of any of what you people want to, regardless of what you want to think out there, me and Kyle from Hard OCP are why people got review samples for free. It's the truth. Me and Kyle stood on our guns and were like, no, we're not going to work for free. You're not going to send me your product and I'm going to write about it, overclock it, and do everything else about it and then send it back to you. Like, who's paying for my time? So we are the ones who actually created that entire part of the industry where it's like, you get a review sample, you get to keep it. Well, guess what? We'll get to that. That part of the industry, not really happening so much anymore unless you're a giant site. And let's just face it, nowadays, there's a gazillion sites and a gazillion people trying to be reviewers. And you no longer really get to keep the samples unless you're a giant site. Which means that you're just basically doing it just to do it. Tire industry has totally changed. All the people that I knew in the industry that I started off with back in those days are all gone. So all these relationships that I built up in the beginning, all these great times I had, all of this stuff, basically as time just kept shifting down the road, all this stuff just slowly started deteriorating, slowly went away. We got a younger generation of people that worked in the offices. They didn't know who I was. They had some friends of theirs that were, younger guys that they knew. And so the entire industry basically just shifted focus and changed. completely. And it's changed for everybody in the industry, even the giant people that were back in the day. Anand doesn't own Anand. He went to Apple. Most of the people in this industry have pretty much retired. Now, I used to spend all my days, all my nights testing stuff, benching it, working with my friends to get the reviews out to you guys, and then half the time giving that stuff away to people out there just so people be like, hey, okay, these guys are a cool channel. I've tried to give back to the community as much as possible. And those of you who follow my channel, you know this. I tried to give back to the community as much as possible. In my career, I've probably given away about $1 million worth of stuff. No joke. Did people really appreciate it? Some people did. Some people became my friends. Some people for years and years and years afterwards would thank me so much for the systems that we gave them and stuff. And that made me happy. It was great to see, appreciation for all the stuff that I did. You know what I mean? But then as time just kept going on and going on and going on, things in California started changing right around the time that COVID started happening. So I didn't really realize this, but I was one of the first people that had COVID. I was really sick in LA before I moved, and I almost died, and they didn't know what I had. They just basically said, oh, you have something that we don't know what it is. We think it's a bad flu. And I was in the hospital for a long time sick. And then I was like, I don't know what's going on here. I just had this crazy feeling that I had to get out of California. So I packed all of my stuff, left all of my friends, my family, my best friend Jesus, I moved back to Kentucky to help my mom because she's really old. She's 85 years old now. And she ended up actually having to take care of me because you guys know I got sick, but we'll get there. So I came back here. And I tried to do the stuff that I did back in the old days without my team. No more Anthony Reynolds. Anthony Reynolds was my right-hand man for building systems and doing all that stuff. Jesus started doing all the testing and started posting the reviews, so I had a great team. And then I moved back here, and then I had no team whatsoever. And then within a year of living here, even though I was getting stuff done and I hired a new guy to help me out, Jesus, my best friend in LA, died. His heart blew up, and he died. At least he died smoking some weed, because he took a big old giant hit of weed, he was coughing, and heart blew up, and he died. So, that hurt me really badly. He was a part of my business for, almost 15 years from the start when I was doing stuff at Tech Tomorrow. He had been by my side. He was my best friend, and he was actually getting ready to come back and start working with me again. And he died. And that really hurt me. And so at this point now, I've got no person to build my systems anymore. I have Parkinson's. You guys can probably see it. I shake on screen quite a bit. My Parkinson's had gotten so bad that I couldn't really build systems anymore because I would shake so bad that I would all of a sudden get a sudden jerky movement, which I believe now they actually have another, there's some other disease that I have that they're just finding out about that makes people just go like this every so often, and that's what I am. I'll be trying to do something delicate, and all of a sudden my hand will just go involuntarily. So I couldn't build systems anymore. So without Anthony, without Jesus, I was already not as much of myself with the team I had, if you know what I mean. Without them, I was less. That's what I'm trying to say. I came back here, and without my friends and my team, I was way fucking less than I used to be. But I still struggled to try to bring you guys videos, and the channel started doing okay. The algorithms and stuff, I watched my numbers go from 100,000 a video to 50,000 a video to 20,000 a video to down to about 2,000, 3,000 per video. And I'm still doing this. In fact, I'm one of the oldest tech guys in this entire industry. I don't know if there's anybody older. I'm 60 years old. Not sure if there's anybody older. There might be. If there is, hey, leave a comment down below. I'd love to check them out and see them going too. But anyways, all this stuff started happening, okay? Lost my team, lost Jesus, really emotionally messed up. I had a complete, utter nervous breakdown in Kentucky. It started happening. I couldn't function very well. I started getting sick. My feet started acting up again. I couldn't walk. And things were getting just so bad in Kentucky that I had nothing to do. I had no friends, no family, no nothing. I got to the point where I wanted to kill myself every day. I talked to you guys about this in another video about depression. I got to the point where I just wanted to kill myself. I was so fucking depressed with having no friends, no family really but my mom. And you guys know you don't hang out with your mom like you hang out with your pals. It's your parents. Totally different relationship. So like I came up to Evansville, and we came up to Evansville, and I met some guys at Guitar Center, and I was like, oh wow, like would you guys maybe be interested in like starting a band? And they were like, well, I don't know. What do you got? And so I showed them my Pain Cylinder stuff and everything. And they were like, well, yeah, hell yeah. So me and my mom packed all our stuff from Kentucky, sold the property there, moved up here to Indiana, bought a house. Now, we came up here and I got a job at Guitar Center. So I worked at Guitar Center for about a year. Totally another story. I'll tell you guys about that sometime. It's not what I thought at all. I thought, hey, I'm going to be working in the music business again. Yeah, fuck you. All it is bullshit retail crap and a bunch of politics you don't even want to know about. But also at that time, though, I got really, really sick. Sicker than I've ever been in my life. I don't know if you guys ever follow me and show it and saw the pictures of my foot, but it literally looked like someone took a gun and shot a hole, because I had a hole in the top of my foot about this big and a hole in the bottom of my foot about that big, and it all turned gangrene and black and nasty. I don't know. Chris may find a picture and stick it in here. I'm not sure, but it was really, really bad. And then I got really, really depressed, and for the last 2 years, I've spent almost every day stuck in this room. You guys can't see it, but my bed's over there, and I just set this camera stuff in here in my bedroom. I couldn't even leave my room. So everything just kind of, my whole life was like a much bigger thing. And then as the years went by, it's just gotten smaller and smaller and smaller. I don't want to play any of the political games anymore in the industry. I was so sick for so long, and I thought I was going to die. And I went from being like, I want to commit suicide to, I think I'm just going to die anyways because I'm so sick. I couldn't get out of my bed. Really had no one to edit my videos at all anymore. Jonathan Morrison from Tech of Tomorrow, my son, like he's been really sick as well. If you guys know his channel, he went through some really bad ordeals like me. He went blind and all, just like, it's kind of weird. Like I went blind, he went blind at the same time. It's just really kind of a weird thing. I mean, our birthdays are like 10 days apart. So it's like really, we're kind of like in a way very, very close. It was like cosmically, I guess you'd call it. You know what I mean? I went blind, he went blind, whole other thing. But anyways, I had no one to edit my videos. So I really was just like, okay, I've got really no one to build for me anymore. No one did it for me anymore. My health has gone to shit. Like, I don't have any of the relationships really that I had anymore. All my friends from NVIDIA, all my friends from AMD, everybody that I knew in the industry is completely retired, moved on with their life. I'll be truthful with you guys, I screwed up. I should have took a job at NVIDIA or AMD years and years ago, or Intel. I should have went and worked for one of those companies. I've always been the kind of guy who just likes to do his own thing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of a loner. I spend a lot of my time alone, and like, that's just, you know, a whole other thing anyways. But I'm not like the super duper social butterfly that I used to be. After all these years, I've changed just so much. And that's why I almost really did not come back to YouTube at all. There were so many things that I felt that were standing up against me in the negative about coming back to YouTube, that I was pretty much to the point like, you know what, just forget it. I'll just give up and, you know, roll over. And, you know, I struggled with everything. And then I met Christian, and Christian has helped me out a lot. He's been helping me edit these videos and stuff and getting the channel back on track. Without him, I wouldn't be able to do this stuff. So once again, I'm relying on someone to help me do this. And I hope things don't go south with him, or something happens with him, you know, because like my luck, it seems to be like the people that I work with, something just ends up happening. And I really need to learn how to edit videos myself. That's the truth of the matter. But anyways, I have no really place right now to do B-roll, no good place to do B-roll. That's why, like, you guys don't see me doing the heavy testing and stuff. I don't have anywhere to do it. I mean, I'm able to now as long as I use my cane or a walker, I can walk short distances. So if I have to, I can, stomp on my butt and go down the stairs and get around places if I need to. I can do that now. But I need to be able to completely be back to walking again. I need to be able to get down to my basement where we've started building an area to film. I need to finish that area off so I can have this stuff and bring better videos to you guys, because I really appreciate your guys' viewership. Honestly, I do. But there's just been so many things over the years that have just added up to the point where I almost just completely gave up, didn't even want to come back to YouTube or have anything to do with kissing ass in the industry. Because nowadays, it is a lot of ass kissing to get this stuff. And it was even that way before when I was doing it. You guys might have seen the video that I made with AMD, where AMD told me, you have to say these exact things or we won't sample you. And I was like, fuck you. I made a video of it. And the guy who was doing it to me all of a sudden left AMD. He did publicly apologize to me. Roy Taylor apologized to me publicly and said he was sorry for how he treated me. So, if you think that's bullshit as well, it's all public knowledge out there. At least, if you do an AI search about me, like if you go through any AI search and you type in elricphares, which is Phares, you will see that I come up in there. So, at least I did succeed a little bit in this lifetime. I guess I didn't totally fail out, but I wanted to do a lot more. And when things got to the point where I couldn't really bring you guys the quality videos that I used to bring to you, I just wanted to roll over, stick my head in the sand, and play dead. I felt like a fucking loser. I'm still not really happy with myself. I'm still not totally happy with my videos. I'm not doing the quality that I used to be able to because I just don't have the room. But when I do, I promise you guys, I'm going to try to get my shit back together as much as I can. I know I'm 60 now. I'm a lot older than I used to be. Things are never going to be like they used to be. The industry's changed. I have changed. YouTube has changed. Even though I'm not getting a lot of views and stuff, I still always love the people out there, and it seems like people do want to see my videos. So I'm going to continue bringing you guys videos pretty much until I just can't do it at all. I love you guys. I really do. And I appreciate you so much. And I appreciate all the people who over the years have helped me. So if you're watching this video and you're somebody out there I did business with or whatever, just know in my heart, even if I haven't mentioned your name, I appreciate you. So thanks very much for watching this video. I'll see you guys back here for more tech next week. I actually have another mini system. I have a keyboard. I'm just trying to find a good place to do B-roll of it. And I've got a monitor, and I'm trying to figure out how to do that as well, because the hardware reviews right now are just the hardest for me to get to you guys because of space. So we'll see you guys back here on the channel. At least I hope I will.